Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the 90 Day Fiance Season 8 Episode 11 review. Obviously, spoiler alert for anyone who has not had a chance to watch Sunday's episode. Don't watch if you don't want to be spoiled. Before I begin, I hope everyone's been having a good week so far. Mine hasn't been too bad. If any of you have ever watched Naruto, if you guys are into animes, I actually rewatched a few movies that I'd already seen. But, having a shipper moment, since Beliza, which is, Bob and Eliza, who play, Clark and Bellamy on the 100, are actually together. So I started thinking about, the other ships that I've, shipped in the past, like Sasuke and Sakura, and, Ed and Winry, and a bunch of anime stuff. But of course, I've been reading and writing, so that's why this video is so late. Been kind of on everything else lately. Oh, and rewatching Doctor Who. No, I have not yet seen Jodie Whittaker's Doctor yet. I'm a little apprehensive, just because I wasn't not really a big fan of the female doctors. And I kind of hoped that they would have been ginger, because they joked about it a lot with Tennant. But if none of you have actually seen Doctor Who, I'm not talking about the really old ones. I'm talking about the 2005 one. It actually really is good. I cried a lot. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this started, before I ramble on about Doctor Who. All right, so we'll go ahead and start off first with Hazel and Tariq. So, as we all know, Hazel wanted a girlfriend when she came to America. And now that they're in lockdown, per the governor's order over the coronavirus, they have had time to browse for girlfriends. But of course, Tariq's friend says that it's a little stupid. Not really stupid, but she says that it's ridiculous that they're focused about bringing another person into their relationship. They're not even married yet. They don't even know how they're going to be. And I mean, I know that some relationships work like that, but jealousy was already a big issue for them. So, it's it's almost a little worrisome. I don't know if they end up together, and I don't know if they really make it, but you can't really add a third person when you haven't even figured out your own relationship between each other first. So, but that was kind of really it with them, besides them, learning that Hazel's son, Harry, is good now. He had a fever in the last Sunday's episode, but he's fine now, from what we know. So, so far, nothing really to say about them besides don't bring a girlfriend into a new relationship until you are so certain that nobody will be jealous of the other. Good relationship advice there. Alright, so let's jump over to Ryan and Stephanie. So we all kind of watched Ryan and Stephanie have some pretty crappy moments on the episodes that they were in. Starting with Stephanie doesn't really trust Ryan. She doesn't trust that he hasn't been with anybody, that he hasn't slept with anybody, that he's still texting women, like she found out the last time when... And of course, we all know when she finally told Ryan that she had slept with his cousin Harris, he already knew, which I think was really childish of him not to say something about it. And it was pretty stupid for her to keep it so long to herself anyways. But, long story short, they are officially, as far as we know, broken up because he did not wear a condom like she asked him to while they were having sex. Granted, if you read all the comments on social media, they're talking about how Stephanie was dry. TMI, obviously, but, I don't know if anybody realizes that when you do get older, crap happens. But he chose not to use a condom because they've never used a condom in the past. But Stephanie said that in order for them to have sex, he needed to wear a condom, which he chose not to. So obviously that was violating a boundary, and he left, and that was it. We last see her calling Harris after calling her friend the psychic, saying that Harris is a friend, but he also has his own ulterior motives, which he probably does. He's probably just wanting to use Stephanie, but we don't know. We don't really know. I don't know anything about Harris, obviously. So we don't really know what's going on with them. Either way, well, Were they in The Other Way? If they were, I haven't seen it. I haven't watched much of The Other Way, so it's either way, I don't know anything about Harris. I don't know anything about his and Stephanie's relationship other than the fact that they've slept together. But obviously, in the coming up episode, she is seen having, I guess, lunch with him. So I don't know. Guess we're gonna find out. All right. So Rebecca and Ziad. So if we all remember last Sunday's episode, where Rebecca was jealous of the girl that was, air quotes, flirting with Ziad, which I don't really think that she was flirting. I think it was more of a, my family owns a bunch of trucks, we are more than happy to help. But that's just me. I'm also not 47 or 54 or however old Rebecca is. I'm still like, I'll be like 28 this year. So it's I guess I wouldn't really call it flirting because Zia doesn't really understand flirting. It's uncommon for women in other countries to kind of be so straightforward like women are now. It's very odd. It's normally the men who pursue the women, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think that he really realized. But either way, Rebecca being insecure was obviously a highlight on the social media platforms afterwards. But right now, they were discussing having kids and knowing that she couldn't have any. She had a partial hysterectomy, which is basically where they just remove half of your female organs. Just in case anybody wanted a quick description, it's just removing half of the female anatomy. But the only reason they even have the conversation is because she ends up going to meet her oldest son, who has 2 kids, and Ziad loves kids. He's already said he doesn't want kids now, but we all know that what you want when you're 24 and what you want when you're 50 are, totally changes. Sometimes it doesn't, but, sometimes it changes. You may not want kids when you're 20, but maybe when you're 30, you do. So anything can happen, and I don't know if he does end up wanting kids, it's very possible for them to do surrogacy. Not saying that it's affordable because it's not, or and but it's a possibility, or they could adopt. But if he wants kids of his own, the only way they're going to be able to do that is surrogacy. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out about that. Obviously, in the coming up episode, he's talking about getting married before Ramadan, which is like in 10 days or 13 days from the episode. And Rebecca's not really happy about that because he's saying that if they don't get married, he's going back to his country, which is, I don't know, a little irritating, and it's a little fishy. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But we're going to find out because, in like a couple days, gonna be watching that without having to watch it on the website that I, have to, which is a pain. So, hopefully I can catch it this Sunday. Oh, all right. So we'll do Brandon and Julie. So they had a pregnancy scare this episode. She was throwing up, which could be a lot of things, your nerves, your anxiety. I had morning sickness the entire 10 months I was pregnant with my daughter. But I only had it the first 3 or 4 with my son. And then after that, I was fine. But, I've been sick before. You feel like your body nauseous and, it's just your nerves. And, it happens. So it's, I think it was just more nerves than anything. But either way, they had a pregnancy scare. And then when they told his parents, can I just say that his parents literally said, we would have waited to tell them until we had taken the test and said something. And then I kept thinking, well, my God, you want them to communicate. You want to be a part of their life so bad. Why are you going to complain? Because they say it might be possible. We're going to get a test. And then they just literally acted. I don't like Brandon's parents. I really don't. They're just so critical and critical over everything. And okay, so she had a pregnancy scare. Would it really be a bad thing to have grandkids? For Julia, yes, because they have to stay at the farm longer, which is not what she wants. But why would you not be happy? They weren't even happy that they might be having a grandkid. Either way, it was just a pregnancy scare. She was not pregnant. So, of course, when they told his parents, they were like, oh, thank God, thank God. And I don't know. I think I would have been more upset because if I had been pregnant and I said that I wasn't, and then I said, oh, joking, they would have been pissed. What kind of reaction is that? You're just pissed that, you might be having a grandkid. So, nothing else has changed on the Julianne Brandon front besides the fact they had a pregnancy scare. um, and I know that they're wanting to move out, but they also want to have a big wedding. So guess we're gonna find out because I didn't really see them in the preview for the next episode. I saw what was her name, Amir and Andrew, Andrew and Amir talking about going to Siberia, which was already a bad idea to begin with. And everyone has said that she doesn't need to go. So I'm hoping that's like the last that I ever see of them because I always forget that they're there. I really do. I really do. It's pretty bad. All right, so last couple, but certainly not the least couple, but it is the least favorite couple on social media, Mike and Natalie. So if anyone actually watched last Sunday's episode when they went to therapy, they talked about how they were unhappy, that they weren't in love anymore, and honestly, they didn't know where to go from there. And may I say that Mike and his hairdresser are just a little bit more friendly than that, haircut small talk. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think that something's going on between them. I don't know, but I think there is. Either way, it's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the fact that Mike was pushed to his limits again. Hey, baby. All right, go ahead and use the restroom. I'll be with you in just a minute, okay? Go use the restroom, please. I'll be there in just a minute, okay? No, you need to go use the restroom. I'll be with you in just a minute, okay? Go. Go use the restroom, everyone. Sorry. It's about time for them to get up anyways. So let me go ahead and finish this. Natalie pushed Mike to his limit again, and they ended up blowing up at each other. He called her a beauty ugly, and which I guess Natalie deserved because she does act like she's better than everyone else. But either way, after their blow up fight, after they basically have said they're done, they're unhappy, they decided to take a walk to clear the air, get some air and talk. And basically Natalie says that Mike is using her and taking advantage of her, which I honestly agree. Like I've said before, if he had no intention of marrying Natalie, there should have been no reason that he should have brought her over on the K1 visa. That's a lot of money that he basically flushed down the drain just to basically say he doesn't want to get married, that they're done, and that he'll never give the ring back, and that she should have never gave it back in the first place. But of course, Natalie thinks that he cheated on her, which in season 7, when he went home and they had the 90-day tell-all, she had said that Mike had spent the night at one of his girlfriend's house. They were best friends, like brother and sister, which it is very possible to have friends who view that way with you. I actually have a few friends that I view as, family. But, I mean, we don't talk right now, but, everyone's busy. But either way, the woman was literally getting married the next day, and he fell asleep on the couch. And Natalie just basically assumed that they had slept together. Assumptions always make you an ass, basically. Pardon my language, but they do. And so Natalie hasn't really trusted Mike since, and when she said something about it, he said that nothing happened, but of course, it didn't matter. He said, you should never give the ring back. We're not ever going to get married. I don't want to marry you. Then they were basically done. And I think that my heart broke for Natalie. In that one moment, it broke because I would have been majorly pissed if somebody had brought me over to America from another country, with the hopes of getting married, with the hopes of us being together for forever or whatever, and you basically said no. But then again, if I was acting like Natalie, I wouldn't marry me either. What is wrong with butter? What is wrong with having a beer or two? Granted, I don't drink beer. I think it's gross. I like my Smirnoffs. My Mike's Hard. And maybe a strawberry daiquiri, but I don't like beer. Either way, what does it matter? And they're both incompatible. It's very obvious, and I don't even really know why they even put them back in this season, because in season 7 I was happy that he went home. You know, you're gonna sit here and say that them raising a child where Mike didn't believe in God was just terrible, and she would never do that to a child. And then for her to get here and say they didn't get married in the church and it was a lie, and I don't know. I just, if I was Natalie, I would not date me either. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So I don't know how many more episodes are left in this season, but I'm really looking forward to, I don't know, Natalie going home. I read on social media that somebody said they got married. I hope to God that is not true. But I am really excited to see if, well, anybody gets married, because nobody's gotten married yet, nor by now somebody would have. But, you know, I guess we're going to see. I think that's it. I don't think that I forgot anything. If I did, I am sorry. But I would try to have the next video up on Wednesday instead of Thursday, just, you know, to give it some time. I guess that's it. So I hope you guys continue to have a good week, and I'll see y'all next time.